Hello everybody, and welcome back to another video. Today, we're going to be having a look at a scenario where civilization starts over. In this episode, there will be quite a lot of stuff happening, so let's get into it. Now we have to go over to the Holy Swedish Empire. The Holy Swedish Empire is collapsing very fast. We saw that the red team is no longer the protectorate. They do not care about this entire entity up here. And the rigging of the governments is going to continue. But then, the Austrians are going to do something very unexpected. They're going to try and assassinate the Red Team's king when he is putting down a few Austrian-funded rebellions on the border. They're going to send in a small group of assassins to kill him, and they fail really badly. And the assassins aren't even killed, they get captured. They get taken to a very secure area. They're questioned, and when they don't give in, the Red Team, they know that it was Austria. Because, maybe they had Austrian weapons and stuff. So, yeah, with the stabbing of the Red Team leader successfully failed, the Red Team is going to go to the 6-Point Star Alliance, and they're going to say, what the hell are you doing? Like, why? What do you think you're doing? And they're going to go like, it wasn't us, it wasn't us, it was these Bohemian people over here. It was the Bohemians, guys. It was the Bohemians. It wasn't the Bohemians, and the Red Team knows this. And the Austrian king, he's gonna make no attempts of solving this, and he's gonna put a few of his best armies on the border. And yeah, this is very threatening to the Red Team. And then it happens. The Austrian armies are giving commands to go into the Red Team and just attack. They're going to take this city, and yeah, they're going to send 3 different army groups into here. And the 6-Point Star Alliance was definitely prepared for this, so let's see what they do. Behind the scenes, there is actually a union between 2 countries, and it is this Denmark country and this one. They form a personal sort of union, or it's much like a proper union. And they're going to proclaim that they are successor of the Vikings, even though the Vikings do still exist. And this happens shortly before the war. So, yeah, they're going to be pushing into this Viking lands, taking quite a lot because the Vikings were not expecting this. And they're actually going to nearly push them out. They do keep a small foothold over here because their navy is a bit superior. Well, maybe not, because they've probably captured a ton of ports. And unfortunately, these guys up here are going to get destroyed, and yeah, their capital city gets sieged, and that's not very good. Problems, man. And anyway, up here, Norway is going to lead a successful campaign. I need to just get the Norway colour. Boom. And against these guys, and well, let's just say they don't really stand much of a chance. They're on the stronger end of HSE countries, though. Yeah, they kind of yeah, they're not going to win this, and they know that, so they're actually going to capitulate early. No, it doesn't look like it, though. Also, this orange country is left with an ultimatum: join us or die. And, yeah, they choose to join southern Sweden. Where the hell did their capital go? Anyway, the reason they are joining southern Sweden is because they know, well, they don't know what's going to happen in the war. But it's quite a common thing in this time. There's unions up here that have worked. This union is, even though it's cut off the main bit, it's working very well. Same with Kola and the Denmark union down here. So they think it can work for them too. And it goes quite well. Now over to a very, very bloody front. Leningrad. Leningrad is sort of like those those gold Imperial Germans. They're just a bit better, but in these battles to the Polish capital, they may be worse. Hundreds of thousands of people are killed in these battles to get to the Polish capital city, but they don't get to the city yet. It's very, very bloody. Both sides are losing a lot of land. But this small defensive pact is actually going to get involved with this war, as the Leningrad has been threatening them. So they're going to send a small army out. Well, this is all they can really send. And they're going to capture 2 cities. And, yeah, officially pulling them into the war against the 6-Point Stars. And this kind of makes Poland, want to, make a branch out over here, which they do, and it's successful. But now up here again to Norway. Norway has been on the decline recently, but not any big decline, so it's not too bad. I'm just mentioning now. Also, we see Stockholm start an invasion into this country down here. This country is, are they rigged? No, they're not actually rigged. And to be honest, they thought it was rigged. And so did I. So, when they start the invasion into this country, it's met with a lot of, like, countries around the world going like, you shouldn't have done that, that's not a very good move, you're just invading neutral nations. But these guys are actually going to go ahead and join the 6-point star alliance after this invasion starts, because, you know, they want some protection. And this is just like, this is very annoying, but they're already quite crippled. I mean, they still have their capital region, but yeah, they've lost a lot of land. Now we see them start an offensive into Stockholm. No, not Stockholm. Well, whatever this region, southern Sweden's best friend. And yeah, that's not too good. Now over here, we have southern Sweden making a landing in the Vikings. And this is very shocking. No one thought they would try and do this. This is something that even the red team once failed to do. But the Vikings are not as strong as they once were. So this is a bit easier to manage. And they're going to get very close to the capital and start sieging this city over here. And the siege goes well. But yeah, the Vikings are kind of falling apart right now. They're going to lose this siege over here. And the Denmark is, you know, they're going to get onto the Viking land. And it looks like the Vikings are actually going to collapse as their final city is sieged. But no fear, because the red team is here. And the red team, traditional enemy of the Vikings, is now fighting alongside said traditional enemy. And it's going quite well. They're going to push up, take the old capital of the country that unionized with Denmark. And they're going to be actually liberating this land over here. And this sort of makes, like, there's like Viking uprisings now, because they believe that, oh yeah, we can do this now, we're being liberated. So this island here is going to liberate itself. Same with this area over here. And this is going very, very well for the Vikings. Or not, because look at the state of them. Now let's talk about Austria. Austria is a very controversial nation that no one likes them in the region. Their only real friends are like some of the other dictatorships, like these guys over here. Well, no, they're not dictators, they're just like quite bad people. It's like, they shouldn't really be that powerful, but they got powerful, and no one really wants them to be in that spot. So we're actually going to see a coalition. And yeah, this is a very large coalition. A lot of nations are going to join in just to destroy this Austrian state. And that's exactly what they're going to do. But Austria is technically stronger than this coalition. But we're going to see the Austrians fumble so badly. This very weak country over here is going to send out an army to connect up with the pink team, even though they're already connected up via the dark thing down here. Oh my god, that's up that. So yeah, but in the last minutes we see a massive Austrian military group just start hammering into this, and you know where this is going. Bit bop bam. You know, there's a man. Never mind. Well, they've just been encircled, and yeah, you know what encirclements mean? Losing troops very fast. And we're actually going to see a lot of these troops surrender. But a few troops are going to try and hold out in this city here. But this is one of the cities that lacks defensive walls, and yeah, it'll be crushed. Damn. Massive army group. Lost in days, months probably. What do? We don't know. Let's withdraw one from the red team. But that was a bad decision, because a ton of red team people are now chasing us into our country. Yeah, Austria is really crumbling. But over here we are going to see these like sort of Bohemian countries over here. They're going to start their own invasions into Austria. And yeah, this Bohemian country is going to get quite far. But when they get into the mountains, then it starts to get quite deadly for them. And they get pushed back by the Austrians. The Austrians are very powerful in the mountains. And we're actually going to see the Austrians push into their mountains. But not all hope is lost, because they're starting up another offensive into the country, and yeah, it might work. Now over here to the Prussians. Kaliningrad, whatever. Kaliningrad. Their name is Kaliningrad. We see them completely push out the purple team, and they're going to sign a peace deal, because these guys never joined the Circle Alliance, where, you know, Prussia gets kind of nothing from that, though. Prussia! They're not Prussia! Okay, anyway, we're going to see the Kaliningradians? I don't know. Kaliningrad, they're going to lose a major battle over here, and this kind of spells the collapse of the country. Kaliningrad is very strong, but something is happening. And let's just say a foreign power up north who once got near this land is Estonia. Yeah, give us that, buddy. Estonia starts an invasion into Kaliningrad, and Kaliningrad cannot do anything about Estonia, even though they're probably stronger than Estonia, but they're already weaker than Poland. So yeah, Kaliningrad is going to go ahead and surrender over to the blue team. Yes, Kaliningrad out the war. Many of Polish troops are coming down here to deal with the Austrians, who have started a very successful campaign into the red team, taking about 5 major cities and going for their 6th. But this campaign is, of course, slowing down. Anyway, yeah, the offensive is short-lived, unfortunately. They're running out of supplies. They're trying to ransack the cities, but it's a bit too late, and a ton of Austrians are going to be killed. And now the collapse of Austria will happen. There is nothing really to fight for anymore. I mean, they had a good run. They've been alive for a few episodes. Probably I think they were born in episode 9. Also, Red Team's going to kill it next up with that. That's going to surrender. And the Austrians, they're going to break out into an all-out brawl of a civil war.
For some reason.
And the rebellion spreads a lot, and the Austrian state will collapse. Boom. The most powerful country on, probably still the most powerful country on the 6-point star team has just fallen. And now it's just left with the states up here. So what have they actually been doing? There hasn't been many advances up here in Stockholm. There's been a small invasion from the purple country, but nothing else. But now we're going to see a country join the war inside of the 6-point stars. And to be honest, what country would join the war inside of the 6-point stars? It would be the orange country down here. They still believe in the 6-point stars. Well, not down here, but up there. They think they can take out Stockholm, they win. But it just doesn't work like that. And Stockholm is not going to collapse anytime soon. They've definitely proven that they can stay in this series. So yeah, while the invasion may take out their puppet state, and it's doing okay, it's not going to take out Stockholm. And with the greater amount of red team forces coming up, and Polish, Estonian too, well, a few Estonian. They don't really care about this, but there is Estonian people up here. Denmark is going to cease to exist. And the forces of Denmark all stop the siege. And to be honest, this is very, very lucky that the siege was stopped then, because the city walls were beginning to crack, and the blockade runners who were supplying the city were being caught and prosecuted. With northern Denmark liberated, we now see Denmark. It's the Vikings. I can't talk today. The Vikings will push southern Sweden out. And southern Sweden is now left with an ultimatum. Keep fighting or give up, because we're not winning. And they're going to give up. So let's have a look at the peace treaty. Just like that, Austria has suffered a horrible fate. They have lost a ton of land up north to the red team. And a new state has been spat out. And for some reason their capital is Austrian colours. So the Austrians are going to try and get a union with this small country here, but it's too late because a massive union down here has just formed. Between these Swiss countries, Switzerland has formed, and it's a nice and peaceful country. Of course, these guys are going to leave the Circle Alliance, but it's a good place to live. So let me get back to the rest of the treaty. And this is the peace treaty of the collapse of the Holy Swedish Empire. We can see that there is a lot of land changes, such as the Vikings getting a ton of their old land back, and Stockholm is one of the bigger countries in the world now. Did I just say in the world? I said in Sweden. Didn't I? No, I didn't. But now we're going to go ahead and see Norway go on a bit of a rampage. They are so annoyed on how they lost that war. They sent so many troops to die in the front lines. So they're going to be invading 3 countries, 3 innocent countries for no reason. And when you ask their leader, he doesn't respond because, yeah, he's very annoyed. Just like that, Norway has just become a lot bigger and they look good. We're actually going to see someone joining the Northern Union, and it's going to be the pink team down here. They've been wanting to join this union for a bit, and now they've got the green light, and this union is expanding, and they kind of want to recruit some stronger countries. Now over to Kola, we're going to see that they're going to make a landing. Not a landing, sorry, that was the wrong country. They're going to get some more people to join their union. The red team, Yum, and the, hill team, whatever. So Kola has just expanded. Very good, very nice. And we're going to see a big union form in the aftermath of this war. And it's going to be these countries. Just like that, all of these countries have just united. And this one will actually go ahead and join. And yeah, the Holy Swedish Empire has just become even more, weird. And all these countries, they have very much moved away from the Holy Swedish Empire lifetime. And we're actually going to see a very short war happen between the blue and the red teams. They've already been beefing for a while. And the red team is stronger, but the blue team has got bigger brain cells. More brain cells. And, yeah, the red team kind of gets outsmarted and the capital gets burnt to a crisp. Hello, let me colour that in, thank you. So, yeah, the capital gets burnt to a crisp, which is very good for the blue team. And they've just destroyed their rival. They need a new rival, but they're not going to get one yet. The blue team is not relevant. But it's about an 18-minute recording now, so, thank you guys so much for watching. But did I expand anyone? No, this episode was just purely for the war, so, I hope you guys enjoyed it. So, next episode, there'll be a lot of expansion on. That's what I'm going to say. So, bye everyone.